Hi there people, my name is Ax and in today's video we're going to talk about how can you shift your reality using the power of your subconscious mind. Now, if you are someone who's trying to shift your reality and you're trying to understand how it works, what is the science behind shifting your reality, what is the practical method or the precise method to do it, then this video is for you guys. And by the end of this particular video, you are going to understand how you can shift your reality in the shortest amount of time that is possible. So let's get started. Now, before I even dive into this particular topic, you need to understand where I am coming from. Everything that I'm about to teach you in this particular video, I have researched this particular topic from different sources such as psychology, such as occult science, spiritual science, all the religious practices and neuroscience, quantum physics. So there is a lot of research that I do, and the way I tend to analyze any particular concept before I preach it is I tend to analyze what I'm studying and then I try to find the commonality that this particular concept has with regards to all these different studies and all these different subjects. Because if something is common between all of them, chances are it's a fact. All right. So, whatever I'm about to say, take what resonates with you. If something does not resonate with you, then I don't have a big fat ego to say I'm the only person who's right. Find someone who you can resonate with. As long as you get the results that you truly desire, hallelujah, that's what we all want. So take what resonates and whatever doesn't, just leave it. Now, the first thing that we want to understand is how do we experience reality? Now, the way we experience reality is that our five senses are constantly gathering information. Now, this information is gathered within our subconscious mind. Once our subconscious mind has all these information, it tends to analyze this particular information. Now, once it analyzes this particular information, what it does is it passes this particular information through our emotional filters or our emotional state or our predominant neurological state. Once it does that, it relays the experience of reality to us, which we call our 3D reality. And that is the basics of understanding how we experience reality, how people can be experiencing the same reality and yet have different perceptions because they might have different emotional filters or predominant neurological state. Now, the two concepts that I'm about to teach you, I want you to just understand them. You can find them on the internet, you can find a lot of the research on it, and this is really important to understanding how shifting reality works. Number one is observer's effect. Now, according to observer's effect, there were a bunch of scientists who were conducting this research on analyzing the particles and their movement. What they observed was whenever these particles were not being observed by anyone, they would move randomly. However, whenever someone was observing these particular particles, somehow they did exactly what the observer was thinking. So according to observer's effect, whenever we analyze something or whenever we are observing something, the expectations of the observer determines the outcome that comes from that particular situation. And that can also give us a lot of insight about how our subconscious mind works because that's how the universe is made of. Now, the second thing that we want to focus on is mirror neuron effect. Now, according to mirror neuron effect, there was a research that identified that when two neurons were placed close to one another that were vibrating at different frequencies. So once they were left, what happened is after some time they both started to mirror one another and they both were vibrating at the same vibration. And that gives us a bit of an insight about what law of vibration is. And you need to understand that your thoughts create vibration. So whatever you are thinking is creating vibration, and your reality is just a mirror of your thoughts and beliefs. So these two concepts are going to play a really big role in understanding what I'm about to teach you guys. Now, let's take an example to understand how these two effects are at play when we are experiencing reality. Now, for the sake of this particular example, let's just assume you are sad. Now, your predominant neurological state is you are sad. So, if you are sad, and let's suppose in your reality, a friend just calls you up and says, "Hey, do you want to hang out together?" Now, the reality is going to remain the same, but let's see how our perception of reality shifts with each emotional state. Now, since you are sad, when this information is absorbed inside your subconscious mind and it passes through your emotional filter, which is your predominant neurological state, your subconscious mind is already sad. So the observer effect kicks in, and suddenly what you feel is irritated by your friend because they just want to hang out with you and you are sad, so you do not want to do that, so this particular call is pissing you off. So mirror neuron effect kicks in. Your internal reality is now mirroring your external reality. It doesn't matter what's happening in reality, but what matters is how you are experiencing this particular reality. Now let's change this particular example. You are feeling happy and excited. Your friend calls you up, goes like, "Hey, you want to hang out together?" Now, this time, when the information is absorbed into your subconscious mind and your subconscious mind is happy, observer effect kicks in. And now you are suddenly happy that, hey, your friend want to hang out with you, and you're like, "Yep, that's all that I need," and you suddenly want to do it. And now mirror neuron effect also kicks in. Since you are happy inside, your reality starts becoming happy. Then we also need to understand that whatever you're observing is what you are getting in your reality. Let's suppose if I ask you to just observe around you, where can you find the color red? So I'm wearing red. Where else can you find red? Just pay close attention to where you can find red around you. Now, here's something you need to understand. While you're observing all this red and you have understood that, yep, red is over there, red is over there, my bed might be red, or anything like that. Now, once you observe where you can find all the red, if I ask you where is all the green, you might suddenly be clueless. Because you were so focused on observing the red, you forgot that green also exists around you. And it might be even more than red. But since you were only observing red, you couldn't even notice the green around you. And that is how we experience reality. Whatever we are thinking, whatever we are feeling, our subconscious mind will bring our focus towards those particular aspects. It changes our emotional filter, and because of that, we only observe certain things within our reality, and our subconscious mind distorts everything else that is not in alignment with our predominant neurological state. That's how it works. Now, here's something. Once you have this particular predominant neurological state, observer effect is working and mirror neuron effect is working. So, what you're doing is you're experiencing reality that mimics your predominant neurological state or your emotions. Now, that becomes a loop. The more you observe something bad, the more it makes you feel bad. The more it makes you feel bad, the more you attract bad. The more you attract bad, and the loop just goes on, goes on, goes on. That's why a lot of the people who are going through something traumatic in their life tend to always attract experiences that mimic that particular trauma. And since it keeps happening again and again in a loop, it just keeps going. So you understand how important our emotional filters are. If we can change our emotional filters, we can change our reality. And that's exactly what I do with a lot of my clients. And the reason why I have had such great results from my program is only because the first thing that I do within my program is get inside people's subconscious mind, remove their traumas or any kind of negative belief that is influencing their observer effect. And once I do that, suddenly their subconscious mind shifts, and that's how people are able to get results, because the more they become happy, the more they attract happy. Whatever they're feeling is what they're attracting, because that's observer effect. And the more observer effect kicks in, mirror neuron effect takes place. It's science. And that's the reason why my clients always got such amazing results. And if you go to my website, you're going to find such amazing results. And that is only because we're changing the emotional filters. The moment we change the emotional filters, the reality changes. Now, you also need to understand that if you have any kind of trauma, What it does is trauma influences your emotional filter or your predominant neurological state. So, since you are thinking from that particular perspective, since you are feeling that at a subconscious level, what you're doing is your subconscious mind will just keep bringing your observation on things that mimic that particular trauma. And you will keep attracting experiences into your life that mimic that particular trauma. And that is how we also understand what trauma bond is. Now, according to trauma bond, people who have had rough childhood with regards to their father or their mother, or between the ages of 1 to 9, they weren't able to establish healthy relationship. Because of that particular trauma, their predominant neurological state is conditioned. And according to that, they keep attracting relationships into your life that mimic that particular trauma. Now, if you see, it makes sense, right? Since their predominant neurological state is compromised due to trauma, the observer effect and the mirror neuron effect is influencing their reality. They just keep attracting these particular partners or experiences into their life that mimic that particular childhood trauma. Now, we also need to understand something really important, that is, when our subconscious mind was developing, that is between the ages of 1 to 9, that's when our predominant neurological state is established. That's when our subconscious mind establishes these patterns, these behaviors. So that means in order to shift our reality, if we can change what happens between the ages of 1 to 9, that will change our predominant neurological state. So that makes shifting reality a piece of cake, because if we can change that, we change our predominant neurological state. If we change our predominant neurological state, we change our emotional filters, and then the observer effect kicks in, the mirror neuron effect kicks in, and your reality just shifts. Now, most of the time, what I have observed is people who have had traumatic past will have the tendency to attract those traumatic experiences into their life. And since it becomes a loop, a recurring pattern that keeps happening again and again in their life, they lose hope. And once they lose hope, their chances of shifting their reality drops down massively. So the first thing that you actually need to do to shift your reality is to first of all admit to yourself that I want to change my reality. No one can help you as long as you are not willing to help yourself. A patient cannot be treated if the patient is unwilling to admit that they have some kind of sickness or they have some kind of issue. So people who are constantly having this particular belief like, I'm never going to find a good relationship into my life, I'm never going to attract abundance, you are stuck in your own loop of thoughts. Since you are feeling that, you're attracting that, and it's a loop. You need to break it. To break it, you need to admit that, yes, I can change my reality. And if I can change my reality, then I will attract similar experiences into my reality that are in harmony with my subconscious mind. So let me give you an example about my life. Now, I once had this particular breakup. Now, usually what happens when you have a breakup, you're just sad, you're just feeling sad. Sometimes you can take even years to move on from a particular person, right? However, since I realized that my reality is a byproduct of what I am feeling inside, why should I dwell on any of the bad feelings? Because if I start dwelling on any of the bad feelings, that's what I'm going to attract into my life. Now, since I'm an instant healing hypnotherapist, all I did was it took me less than 2 minutes to just get inside my subconscious mind and remove that particular pain. Now, sounds like a prick, I know, that I didn't even feel anything after breakup, and I was like really happy living my life because I know that if I can retain a good neurological state, that's what I'm going to attract into my life. And guess what? I do attract all the great experiences that this life has to offer, because life is precious. You need to understand, if you take accountability to keep yourself happy, all you need is the tools, and with those tools you can literally change and shift your reality to the one that you truly desire. Now, to sum it all up, because I know I have just overloaded your subconscious mind with a lot of information, Now, to sum it up, you need to understand we need to shift our internal reality. I know we all try to go out and change our external reality, trying to put in efforts, but trust me, the best way to change your external reality is to change your internal reality. And when we are talking about internal reality, we have to look at our predominant neurological state. And when is our predominant neurological state developed? Between the ages of 1 to 9. So we have to look at the period of 1 to 9 to understand what actually happened that developed our predominant neurological state. Now, within my particular program of 15 days instant healing hypnosis, I tend to address all of this with the use of instant healing hypnosis. However, there are other ways to do it as well. So once you change your predominant neurological state, you change your emotions and reality just shifts. It just shifts according to what you desire. So now that you understand how shifting reality works, now I can share with you why I actually tend to first offer my clients a free mini therapy session. Within that particular session, all I'm doing is I'm assessing what happened between the ages of 1 to 9 and trying to understand how strong was their conditioning. Are they willing to take accountability of changing their life? Are they willing to commit to changing their reality? And is their belief strong enough that they can change it? And only then I accept them into my 15 days instant healing program. So if you guys would like to enroll into my 15 days instant healing program, where I help you guys learn instant healing hypnosis to remove any kind of trauma or blockages from your subconscious mind, to shift your reality and attract the sort of relationships that you truly desire in your life, or anything that you want in your life, and learn the art of conversational hypnosis, only then you can just sign up for my free mini therapy session. I know, guys, a lot of you want free consultation with me, but it's not practical, guys. If I started giving people free consultations, trust me, my entire day would be all about giving people consultation. That's not practical. So I'll leave a link to my website in the description and in the pinned comment for you guys to sign up for my free mini therapy session if you like to enroll into my 15 days instant healing program. And guys, I know a lot of you want to be enrolled in it, but you have to respect, if I refuse to work with you, it is only because I cannot promise you the results. I only take on clients who I can definitely promise the results. And if I can promise the results, I'll enroll you into my program. So I hope this video helped you guys out with regards to understanding how our subconscious mind works and how shifting reality works. So share your experience down in the comments, and do remember to subscribe to my channel and show some love. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Up until then, stay happy, stay blessed, and shift your reality the way you desire. Bye.